Coming up in Access episode 66, No Kuni is Game of the Week. There's the latest news in PlayStation Briefing. Dead Space 3 stars in On the Store. We check out Dust 514 and bonus level and get to grips with Tomb Raider in Access all areas, before signing out with an Aliens Little Big Planet crossover.
Question time, kids. What do you get when you mix legendary JRPG developers Level 5 with the masters of anime, Studio Ghibli?
Answer: a portly egg-shaped lantern-nosed thing that yells "Oh, knickers!" in a thick Welsh brogue.
What Drippy there is trying to say is that Ni no Kuni is the kind of epic, sweeping role player not seen since Final Fantasy's heyday.
It's a magical escapade that has you hopping between our reality and a parallel place literally called another world, which is the kind of bright, fluttering wonderland that Ghibli specialise in. Your task? To defeat the evil White Witch and have a heartwarming adventure in the meantime. So, step forward, plucky hero Oliver.
Well, Oliver's super sad for reasons I can't quite bring myself to tell you.
But it turns out that his salty tears are good for one thing: freeing Drippy from his plushy prison. Hey, wouldn't it be great if crying on your toys really did bring them to life?
Why won't CM Punk return my calls? I mean, we had such a good interview. I thought we really connected, you know? But he won't reply to me. I left like 50 messages for him.
Past the hand-drawn prettiness of everything, Ni no Kuni is a rather conventional JRPG. Battles are a mix of real-time action and turn-based commands, swapping between humans like Esther and Oliver, who can cast spells and eat delicious health-boosting sandwiches, and fighty little monsters called familiars, who can be trained using a rigorous program of ice cream and chocolate.
Who's gonna eat all the food and grow up big and strong? You are.
When not boffing adorable monsters in the face, you'll be saving broken-hearted citizens of another world. You see, Dark Jin Shadar, another villain, which is why he looks like a stooped Saiyan enemy, has been cursing everyone who looks at him funny by taking pieces of their heart and turning them into empty husks.
Just like when I discovered Justin Bieber.
The only way to fix them is to find out what they're missing, track down someone who's got a bit to spare, and do a sort of emotional transplant. Just like this.
Rob, I've got some enthusiasm for you, Rob. Uh-oh. It's just rage!
In fact, there's so much that's just right about this game that it's impossible to explain it all without a montage. Because everybody loves a montage, right?
There's cat kings, folklore, spellbooks, item crafting genies, pickpocket guns, bathing suits, a massive cow lady, capturing familiars, customising familiars, emotional plot points, gorgeous music, and something long missing from JRPGs, a world map, complete with sea and air transportation.
Eat it, Final Fantasy 13, eat it down!
Ni no Kuni is out on the 1st of February.
And we recommend it like we recommend crying on your soft toys to bring them to life.
Welcome to PlayStation Briefing, your guide to the week's essential stories. And most essential of all this week is an update from Square Enix about its trilogy-closing Final Fantasy 13 sequel, Lightning Returns. The pink-haired heroine is the only playable character in this more action-based adventure. Did that change the way she's designed, we asked?
We can focus on her more than ever. There are going to be lots of different costume outfits available for her, so each player can customise her look by dressing her up to your liking and your taste. So in that sense, we are going to put more light on her so you can enjoy her to your heart's content.
Like Barbie? We look forward to switching between Beach House Lightning and Ballroom Dance Lightning as we battle to save the world. Definitely not interested in ballroom dancing or saving the world are the speed-obsessed racers of GT Academy. Regular access viewers will know that this annual competition seeks out the very best PlayStation drivers, puts them on a real track and gives them a shot at becoming a professional. Now you can see all the action as GT Academy comes to ITV4 next month. Make sure you're watching every Monday evening at 8 starting on the 4th of February. Lastly, on the subject of wheels going round very fast, we recently had a filthy hands-on session with Urban Trial Freestyle, the obstacle-strewn off-roader heading to PlayStation Vita and PSN soon. And we were brilliant. Oh, fine. But the game was pretty good, and for everyone looking for a high score-chasing fix on PlayStation, this is excellent news. That's all for Briefing now. We'll be back with more next week. Taking a dip in PS3's online pool now, it's your weekly roundup from On The Store. With just over 2 weeks to go until the return of Isaac Clarke, what better time to get stuck into the playable demo of Dead Space 3? And EA seem to think so too, which is why they've released it on the PlayStation Store today. For optimum demo performance, follow our trusted recipe. You will need the dark, an empty house, and way bigger balls than Rob. Then simply download, play and enjoy. Staying with demos, you can also download the liquid metal delights of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance and play through a sizable chunk of Raiden's gymnastic adventure filled with men, bipedal robot cows and a dog with a chainsaw for a tail. The trick is not to make him happy, or he wags the bloody thing everywhere and you get this. Get off, Fido! Go on, there's a stick up on that ledge, go and play with that. Good boy. And rounding off a pretty hardcore week of downloadable gaming action is the daddy of difficult Demon's Souls, with From Software's cult action RPG available as a digital release for the first time. The spiritual predecessor to Dark Souls is an unforgettable journey through a bleak, dangerous world of monsters, traps and scribbled lies from your online companions. Amazing sword down there? Okay. There goes my last 4 hours of shuffling forwards really slowly. That's your lot from On The Store this week. We'll have more digital goodies for you next week. Bonus level this week is dedicated to something that's quietly changed PlayStation forever without you realising it. The ongoing beta for huge space trading shooter Dust 514 opened its doors to the public, meaning that for the first time, you, me and everyone can get on board what's going to be one of the biggest games of 2013. If you don't know, Dust 514 shares a universe and a single server with the massive PC role player EVE Online, with Dust players fighting real-time battles for planets in the EVE universe. As you accept contracts from EVE players and wage war on different worlds, you'll also be earning in-game currency and customising your drop suit with a huge range of deep specialisation skills. Best of all, it's been confirmed this week that whatever progress you make during the beta from this point will be kept after the game's official launch, meaning none of your hard-earned badassery will be wasted when the beta ends. The Dust 514 beta is available on the PlayStation Store right now. We've been in London for this week's Access All Areas for a first hands-on with Tomb Raider's recently announced multiplayer mode. Yes, that's right, multiplayer in Tomb Raider. What's that all about then, producer Joe Curry?
When the idea of doing a proper multiplayer for the re-imaging of Tomb Raider, we felt like under the right circumstances, it's possible to do something that's interesting. From the beginning, it's always been about survival. And obviously, surviving with friends is easier than surviving alone. Laura's on the island, but she's not alone, both positively and negatively. There's two sides and an arena that we can build a multiplayer on top. Right now, we're just focusing on two modes. We're focusing on rescue and a very easy, to get into mode, team deathmatch. Team deathmatch is obviously a great platform for someone to learn. Rescue, as a survivor, you need to bring med packs back. You need to live long enough, or survive long enough, or help to arrive and get you off this island. On the other hand, Scavenger's goal is to eliminate you. So, very different objectives, very different goals. We add a layer of traps into the levels. Exclusively designed levels for multiplayer, not just taken from single player.
But will there be a mode called Capture the Butler, where you have to steal the opposing team's butler and then lock him in a fridge?
Or maybe hunt the T-Rex or something. If we're going to go back to all the fantastic things we could have done with any Tomb Raider in the history of Tomb Raiders, there's so much we could do that definitely makes us laugh a little bit. But we were doing something with the re-imaging of Tomb Raider.
Well, if you don't put it in the game, we're not playing it.
Try it.
Oh, all right, we are, because Tomb Raider Online is looking proper beau. Thanks to everyone at Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. We'll have loads more on Lara's gritty reboot before it's released on March the 5th. With Aliens Colonial Marines only weeks away, the first symptoms of sci-fi horror fever have crept into the Access office, resulting in us recreating our favourite scene from the movies with the plush lovelies of Little Big Planet.
What's wrong? What? I'm
See you next week. That's all for Access this week. Hit the giant red button to subscribe to all our regular episodes and extra features. And if you enjoyed this week's show, don't forget to comment and like us. Like us!